Hey, it's Anthony Manganello again here with your second Debt-Free Academy Protege course lesson. In this lesson, you're going to learn why believing in good debt is the same as believing in the Loch Ness Monster. You're about to learn that good debt is a myth. Now, we all know that things like credit cards, those are considered to be bad debt, right? Well, in this lesson, I'm not going to deal with what we already know to be bad, because when you learn the truth about good debt, you'll see what we already know about bad debt is just a whole heck of a lot worse. Let's start out with a quote from an online article from CNN Money. It says, "Good debt includes anything you need but can't afford to pay for up front without wiping out cash reserves or liquidating all your investments. In cases where debt makes sense, only take loans for which you can afford the monthly payments. Bad debt includes debt you've taken on for things you don't need and can't afford. That trip to Bora Bora, for instance. The worst form of debt is credit card debt, since it usually carries the highest interest rates." That article goes on to mention 3 examples of good debt. They are buying a home, paying for college, and financing a car. Now, if you remember, I mentioned one of the financial myths that we're going to cover later on has to do with paying for college, so we'll leave that one alone for now. But when it comes to the other 2 examples of good debt, borrowing for a home or a car, between those 2, borrowing for a home, well, that's commonly understood as good debt, like, the best kind of debt available. That's because mortgages typically have lower interest rates and are believed to have, the potential for a payoff due to the fact that it's funding a real estate investment that appreciates in value. Many financial experts will even tell you that your home may just be the biggest investment you'll ever make. So if that's the case, and if I can prove to you that mortgage debt, even in a good housing market, not the kind of bad housing market we've recently experienced, if I can prove to you that it's bad, would you agree that all debt is bad? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to do in this lesson. Now get ready for some numbers, but don't worry, I am going to do all the math for you. All I want you to do is follow along with the logic so that you can learn for yourself how these numbers work. Because like I said before, knowing how the numbers work is necessary for you to learn how to make those same numbers work for you instead of against you. Let's take the following mortgage example. Let's say you borrow $205,000 to buy a home via a traditional 30-year mortgage at 6.79%. If you have a mortgage, your numbers are probably going to be a little different, but that's okay, don't worry. You'll see what I mean when we get done. These financing terms mean you're paying about $1,335 each month for principal and interest. I'm not going to address the property tax issue here because even when the home is paid for, you're still going to be obligated to pay your property taxes. Now, a few years down the line, let's say 7, you decide it's time to sell your home and buy a bigger one. After all, your family's grown and you've run out of space. And according to the National Association of Realtors, the average family moves about once every 7 years. So you've made 84 monthly payments of $1,335 each month for a grand total of $112,140. Now I'm going to introduce you to something called an amortization table. You may have seen one of these before. Amortization tables are what mortgage payments are based on, and they determine how much of each of your monthly payments will be applied towards interest for the mortgage and towards the principal on the loan. Now, according to the amortization schedule for a mortgage with the terms I've outlined here, of that $112,140 you spent or invested into your house in the form of payments for those 7 years or 84 months, you've eliminated only $18,764.92 on the principal balance on your mortgage. That means $93,974.08 of all of your payments went directly to interest. What this means is that you've lost almost $94,000. So what kind of rate of return would your investment into the good debt, for 7 years or 84 consecutive months of investing $1,335 a month generate? I mean, after all, if this is, as they say, the biggest investment you're ever going to make, that's exactly what your monthly payments should be considered, right? So you've invested $1,335 a month for 7 years, a total of $112,140, and you've accumulated only $18,764.92. That's the amount of equity you've built by reducing the principal balance on your mortgage with that investment. What kind of rate of return would you have generated? How does negative 56.061% grab you? That's right, you've lost over 56% on your investment into this mortgage each year in this example. So let's get this straight. A mortgage is good debt because property's supposed to appreciate in value, right? Well, let's put aside our current economic environment where home values have seemingly fallen through the floor and simply consider a regular housing environment to see how this investment would kind of work out. Now remember, you've borrowed $205,000 and you made 84 monthly payments of $1,335 each, totaling $112,140. But after you've made those 84 monthly payments totaling that $112,140, according to the amortization table for this kind of loan, you've reduced the principal balance of the loan by less than 19 grand and you still owe more than $186,000. Now that you're going to sell your house and move into a bigger one, let's see how much you'll need to sell your house for just to break even. So how do we do that? Simple. We take the total amount you've invested for those 84 payments that total $112,140 and add that total amount to the original balance on the mortgage, or the $205,000. When you do that, you get $317,140. Now from that, we have to subtract, the amount you've reduced your principal by, or that $18,764.92. That leaves us with $298,375.08. That's your target sale price for your home just to break even. That means your home would have to appreciate by 5.25% each year during those 7 years, and you'd still have to sell it at 100% market value just to break even. Now sure, there may be other circumstances like down payments and things like that, but I think you get what I'm saying here. There's a quick question for you. If I came to you and said, hey, I've got this great investment opportunity. Now you're going to invest $1,335 each month for 7 years, 84 months, and when you're done, you're going to have a whopping $18,764.92, guaranteed. Or maybe I told you, after 7 years, you just might break even. You tell me to get lost, maybe even call the police. Come on, do you see how insane this is? And can you see how following this kind of conventional wisdom, it's no wonder you aren't going anywhere financially. Now, I know I may have gone through that a little bit fast, but I think you get the gist of it. The point is that there is no such thing as good debt. And if what most people believe to be good debt has this kind of impact on your finances, what do you think bad debt does? That's right. It really sucks the wealth accumulation life from your financial future. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that you probably can't plop down over 200 grand for a house or 20 grand for a car. So sure, that kind of debt may be necessary at times. But to call it good? Please, come on. That's why I call the idea of good debt a myth, and I think you probably do too now. Now, just a quick note here. While I'm picking apart these financial myths, don't worry. In the last few lessons, I am going to show you what you can do with your current resources to achieve your personal wealth potential. But first, you need to learn why these strategies don't work. You need to learn how they have the opposite impact that you're hoping for, so you can see right through them the way I do. Now, in your next lesson, I'm going to share with you what I think about the whole idea of paying yourself first. Now, if you think this lesson was an eye-opener, just wait until you see how the numbers work out on that commonly accepted financial strategy. So, when you're ready, dive in and find out why paying yourself last is much more effective. I'll see you in the next lesson.